Bitcoin Cash is the latest hot digital currency on the market. Spawned off of Bitcoin itself, in its infancy has already risen dramatically. While Bitcoin Cash has doubled in just 2 days, Goldman has predicted that the original Bitcoin will crash by 50% rapidly. You came here for the truth. Today we're going to look at Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and gold. Let's begin. We are looking here at a Bitcoin Cash chart, and you can see that this chart is already outdated because it has gone beyond 500, beyond 600, and continues to rise. This is just showing you over the past 2 days how far it has risen. Now in the past couple weeks it has remained rather stagnant, and then you'll notice that in the past little while Bitcoin has risen dramatically, and I believe a lot of people are chasing those gains, trying to use Bitcoin Cash as a method to do so, hoping that they will exceed the gains that they have seen in Bitcoin, and in the past 2 days they've certainly done that. What I need to mention to people is that Bitcoin and all digital currencies are volatile. You have to be strong-willed. You have to be willing to lose it all. Because a 50% drop isn't something that is very unreasonable to happen in a very, very short period of time. Just as the price has doubled in a 2-day period, it could halve in a 1-day period. It's just the way it works. So let me show you this here. Goldman Sachs, they've done some analysis, and the Financial Times has commented on it. And the Financial Times basically makes Bitcoin, digital currencies, seem like they are completely fictional, they're toys and everything. You know, it doesn't matter what you think of it. But you have to read the article. Actually, they really bash it. It's interesting anyway. As per Goldman Trading Desk, discussing the possibility of a trend exhaustion that could take Bitcoin back to about $2,200. Once a full 5-wave sequence is in place, the market should in theory enter a corrective phase. This can last at least, check this out, 1/3 of the time it took to complete the preceding advance and retrace at least 38% of the entire move. So that's what they are saying. They're using their technical analysis. You can watch or read this article if you're interested in what they do, how they track all these different waves. You may know the things like the Elliott wave. And although, you know, they can be accurate at some points, we always see the events in which they are not, and they sort of break the mold. And breaking the mold does occur in times. You find that they're moving in a 200-day moving average, for example, but it doesn't have to remain within that 200-day moving average. It can break through, it can fall below. That's just the way it is. Look at this. There's a chart here showing you the profitability of mining Bitcoin Cash. Just in the past couple days, we've seen the prices rise, and as a result, Bitcoin Cash becoming more profitable to mine. So you can see that more miners will probably take it on. And I think that this is important for the price. Ultimately, you want to see it become cheaper. You want the transaction fees to be cheap. You want everything to basically be cheap and have the ability for companies to take it on and sort of have this idea that this is a good investment for you. So the more people get on board with that, the more we'll see this continue. This right here, gold, believe it or not, has outperformed the Dow for this year. And that's something to really note. I believe it is important to look at gold always. Despite the fact that the prices are manipulated entirely, we need to chase the price and see how that relates to other things like the Dow Jones or maybe other commodities. Measuring things in gold, I think, is important, perhaps more than ever before, because the price has been trading within this range now for quite some time. It's relatively stable. I mean, if you just compare that to silver, for example, you'll see that it is much more stable. This is interesting to me to see what happens with gold as soon as there's any bit of turmoil. we always turn to gold. That's what happens. And of course, that's all paper gold. Physical gold is basically insignificant now with all the way, with the way that companies deal their business, leasing out their gold. There's nothing in Fort Knox. Everybody knows the drill. This here showing you the gold price trading within that range for such a long period of time now. You can see, look, it's been up, it's been down and up and down, and ultimately it has been within this certain price. I mean, we've seen it anywhere between 1,000 and 1,300 now for quite a while. Compared to the bottom here, the USD and the Japan currency here, the yen, they're basically drawing some conclusions. I just wanted to show you the gold price and to show you that it has broken out of this mold. I don't know exactly where it will go in the near future. If it continues to rise just a little bit more, it could set a trend which can continue onward. The more turmoil there is, the more gold will rise. The more chance of there being a clampdown on any sort of type of assets, on freedoms and everything else, you can see Bitcoin rising or the cryptocurrencies rising. More money is flowing in there, and you can see that people are using it in some ways as a safe haven. It's very strange to see that. But obviously, gold for the foreseeable future is the king of that. So that's all for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my books, The Money GPS and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can flip through these books at Amazon. The links are in the description below. Take care.